Hello, and welcome to our challenge. The challenge for this project was to build an app to track cases of COVID-19 and close contacts on Mace sites, and to notify HR to see who should be self-isolate, to tell them who should be self-isolating. Our previous attempt at this at Mace involved using Microsoft Forms, but this relied on people to submit their own close contacts, and sometimes that was done unreliably, and also the form was quite tedious to fill out. So we wanted a way to automate some of the processes in that flow and make it smarter and simpler for people to use.
Welcome everybody to our Mace COVID tracking app. So we come through to the first splash screen for symptoms. We want the date to be put down of the first symptoms to know whether the person involved is isolating or not. Ideally, they will be isolating. The date that the isolation started, the date the test was taken, dates that the results have received, and whether the COVID-19 results prove positive or negative. Ideally negative, but if they're positive, we need to know about that. We've got one section for Mace Employee where we go to projects. We can choose from projects within our system. We're showing you a limited range here just for proof of concept. The entire Mace project range will be in it ultimately. And then we choose from a name. If we go back to the main screen and go via the subcontractor, you'll see that we have the same number of projects, but we also have another level for contractor name as well as subcontractor individual name. Hit submit. It then uploads this to our read-write set of data from which we visualize an overall dashboard, and we can push emails to indicate either at the employee level or HR level. Thank you.
The aim was to create a fast and resilient process that reduces human error as well as inconsistencies. In the development of the app, we've came through multiple iterations to understand what sort of information is required through the from the app itself and from the user, primarily targeting the stage from symptoms onto later stages and including the test.
Initially, we wanted to use a SharePoint list as our database. However, due to licensing issues, this was not possible. We therefore decided to use an Excel-based database that was stored within a OneDrive environment. We also made full use of the Microsoft Power Suite, including Apps, Automate, and BI to build our form, automate responses, and drive insights from the data.
After the form has been submitted, an automated email will be sent to the HR department to notify of the potential close contact cases. This automated email is done using the Power App systems.
The dashboard works by connecting to the Excel output in OneDrive and also to our turnstile data in Datascope. It automatically refreshes when a form is entered, so it will always stay up to date. Using the information from Power Apps, Power BI calculates how long someone should be self-isolating for, and then uses the turnstile data from Datascope to see who else was on site that day, and to work out, so therefore you can work out who else they have been in close contact with. The graph shows how many people should be self-isolating on each day, and hovering over any bar on that shows who is isolating and which project they're on. And it also lets you filter by different sites and dates to suit your needs.
Moving forward, one easy win for us would be fixing the licensing issues, enabling us to use SharePoint list as our database. Another improvement we would make is identifying project critical path impact analysis using resource project plans to identify any COVID-related delays. Thirdly, we would include a map visual to showcase company-wide COVID hotspots by country or region.
So some of the main constraints we had during this challenge were the licensing restrictions from Microsoft, Power Apps being the main one. We went down several avenues of solution. The SharePoint list, as we mentioned earlier in the presentation, and found that the restrictions of not having premium capability on apps meant that we could not complete. So we rejigged and did everything via Excel and got that working, but we then hit issues with having data available via internal organizational data sharing policies. So there were 4 or 5 issues we hit as a result of this. So having a greater flexibility of approach by Microsoft would help us significantly.
How would we propose to use technology to identify who to track and trace on a busy construction site? Currently, our app uses data from site turnstiles to narrow down the list of individuals who are possibly at risk based on the person who is identified positive with COVID-19. This list would be reduced based on the sites that the person has been working on in order to identify those individuals. Moving forward, we would look to use a Bluetooth chip device to track the close contacts of people who have tested positive. Our ambition is to put this device either in a lanyard or a hard hat that would link to the individual's swiping data when they go through the turnstile on site. The Bluetooth technology in these devices would enable us to track close contacts on site and how long each contact has been in contact with each other. This removes the need to use mobile phone positioning data, meaning that people do not feel we are infringing on their personal data whilst they are outside of work. It also helps ensure that GDPR compliance becomes less complex.